All right, I got out to camp. I'm out for a solo night hike tonight, and just starting to get a fire going here. Got a fire starter that I'm lighting that should get going here, and then get my tent set up and make some food. Should enjoy it. It was a nice hike out. Parked in the dark, hiked out in the dark, and gonna enjoy some time by myself tonight. I'll respond to a bunch of comments on our 12 Days of Christmas giveaway, and yeah, just really relax. Nice solo hike. It's 30 degrees out right now. Fingers are a little cold, but other than that, I'm really good. We had some major windstorms in Michigan, 2 of them in the past week, maybe 8 or 9 days, and lots and lots of downed branches around here, so lots of firewood, which is pretty awesome. I like to read, and I like Charles Dickens, and I like the classics. Love Lord of the Rings, things of that nature. And there's this section in Hard Times, and I actually brought an excerpt of it out here tonight. I actually use a segment of this chapter at work with leadership training, and it applies to backpacking, and I think how we can approach backpacking. So I think what I want to reflect on here is that there's a lot of videos on YouTube about backpacking, and I've done these videos even recently on 5 mistakes beginning backpackers make, 7 mistakes experienced backpackers make, 5 things I wish I would have known, 10 things that whatever, right? And well, those videos are fine, and there is a plethora of information on YouTube right now about backpacking. We all know this, right? I mean, there's more than we can even imagine, but there's a lot of people who watch a lot of YouTube videos, and I watch a good share of YouTube videos on backpacking and hiking, and a lot of bushcraft videos is what I seem to enjoy the most. But there's something that we're missing. Pipe is out again, but I think my tobacco's getting a little old. It's not staying as lit as I want. Maybe I just want the pack right, but I'll milk the beer instead while we do this video. Anyway, we spend a lot of time online. We spend a lot of time with tidbits and facts and information, but I think the thing that we lack the most these days, and I don't think other generations had this as much. I even think as a kid we didn't have this growing up, because we didn't have the internet growing up. We didn't have cell phones. I'm grateful I grew up in a sandlot era. If we weren't in school or getting into mischief somewhere, we were playing ball. We were playing football. We were out in the woods catching minnows and getting ran off the golf course and things of that nature. So we have all of these YouTube channels giving all of this information about what you should and shouldn't do about backpacking, what gear this, what gear that. I think gear reviews are quite helpful, because it's a lot of money. And so you do want to certainly get some reviews on what people think about gear. But there's something that we miss. And I think what I want to encourage everybody to do is get out and backpack. And so I want to read this. This is from Hard Times by Charles Dickens. And this is in chapter 2, and it's the chapter called Murdering the Innocents. And they're in Mr. Gradgrind's classroom. And this is a very modern classroom. And they're all about facts. And the children aren't so much given names, but they're given numbers. And so there's this girl, Sissy Jupe. That's her kind of slang name, right? And she's, I think, girl number 21, if I remember correctly. And then there's this boy named Bitzer. And so girl number 21, she possessed no facts in reference to one of the most commonest of animals. So Gradgrind is asking her to define a horse. Give me your definition of a horse. And Sissy Jupe she's thrown into alarm by this demand, it says. She doesn't really know how to define a horse. But here's a bit of information. Her dad trains horses. She's been around horses her whole life. She knows horses. But when asked to give a definition, an encyclopedia definition, she stumbles. She has no idea where to begin. But she knows horses. And so Gradgrind, all arrogant about this, proving this Sissy Jupe wrong, right, or trying to make a point with her, then points to Bitzer and says, your definition of a horse. And he goes into this great definition, quadruped, 40 teeth, namely 24 grinders, 4 eye teeth, and 12 incisive. Sheds coats in spring, in marshy countries, sheds hooves. Hooves hard, but requiring to be shod with iron. Age known by marks in mouth. Thus and much more, Bitzer. Gradgrind loves this answer, and then looks to Sissy Jupe and says, now you know what a horse is. Bitzer doesn't know what a horse is. He can define all these facts and all these tidbits about a horse, but he doesn't really know what a horse is. And if you're watching this, if you're still with me after several minutes of my introduction and my preamble and my rambling, which is how my brain works, sorry, it rambles, I want you to think about that. We spend a lot of time watching YouTube videos, and perhaps it's our entertainment instead of watching mindless TV on, I'm going to steal this phrase, but on the idiot box, right? We watch YouTube videos instead, and I think that's definitely better, no doubt about that. But how often do you get outside? How often do you go out and hike? How often do you go out and actually backpack? Be willing to go out there and get kicked by the horse. You'll learn pretty soon that you don't just blindly walk behind a horse. But as far as I understand it, when you walk behind a horse, you want to be touching the horse the whole way so that the horse will not be alarmed. I could be wrong. Sorry if I am. I personally don't know horses well enough. But I think when you're walking behind a horse, you want to be rubbing your hand along the backside of the horse as you go so it knows you're there. And I think when we backpack, there's that phrase that I think Darwin probably coined, Darwin on the trail, embrace the suck. Yeah, go out and embrace the suck. Don't try to figure it all out before you go out. Don't try to figure all this out. Just have a plan, for sure. I don't think we should look for rewards for procrastination and laziness. But you can't plan everything. The inevitable will happen. It's going to rain when you didn't expect it. Things will get wet. An animal will get into your food. You won't be able to light a fire. Your food will spoil. Something will happen. Your shoes will get wet and you're going to freeze. Something will happen. It's just go out and learn from those mistakes. Because when you go out and when you learn by trial and error and through incident and success, then you will understand what I think is the joy and the craft of backpacking and hiking and even bushcraft. I think this applies to those channels as well. At some point, you have to go out and get your hands dirty. and just try it. So I'm not saying don't watch videos that have lists and that discuss certain things, all the facts and all the tidbits. But check yourself. Are you filling yourself with just the Bitzer definition of a horse, of backpacking? Or are you Sissy Jupe, who maybe can't define everything, but she certainly knows what it is? And in time, we should be able to explain, and our knowledge of things should grow. But we should never neglect the experience, to live it out. Don't live your life on the phone. Don't live your life on TV, but actually go out and live it. With the goods, the bads, the ups and the downs. And then you'll understand. Well, thanks all for putting up with my rambling here. I hope it meant something for you. In the comments below, I have a question for you. What is your fear of backpacking or hiking? Do you have a fear, or did you have to work through a fear? Leave those in the comments below. I'd be curious to know. And do you have a plan to push through it?